Here's the truth nobody talks about. When some black women stop posting on social media, it's not because they have nothing going on. It's because they've learned that visibility can attract judgment, jealousy, unwanted opinions, and people who feel entitled to their lives. Silence becomes protection. Privacy becomes power. But there's a deeper psychological reason why successful, emotionally intelligent black women often become quieter online, and by the end of this video, you'll understand what their silence is really saying. Black women, where in America are you watching from? Think about the camera roll on your phone right now. There may be a picture of you with a fresh silk press, the kind that moved perfectly when you turned your head. There may be another one taken after you finally found the braids that framed your face exactly the way you imagined. Maybe there is a selfie of you in your favorite dress, standing in good lighting, smiling with a softness you rarely allow the outside world to see. There are pictures from brunch, quiet vacations, birthday dinners, Sunday mornings, random moments when you looked in the mirror and thought, "Sis, you look beautiful today." And yet, many of those photographs have never touched Instagram or Facebook. They remain in your camera roll, they get sent to one trusted friend, they appear in the group chat, where your sisters respond with heart emojis, jokes, and the kind of compliments that feel safe because they come from people who actually know you. To the online world, it may look as though you have disappeared. People may assume you are insecure, unhappy, isolated. They may believe you stopped posting because your life is no longer interesting enough to share. But what if your silence is not evidence that you are shrinking? What if it is evidence that you are finally protecting something? For many black women, stepping back from social media is not a random change in behavior. It is often a quiet psychological shift involving privacy, self-worth, emotional exhaustion, and the refusal to keep performing for a world that watches black women closely but does not always protect them carefully. Your absence is not always withdrawal. Sometimes it is a declaration. It says, "You are no longer entitled to unlimited access to me." There is a particular kind of freedom that comes when you stop feeling obligated to document every beautiful thing that happens to you. You can enjoy the meal while it is still warm. You can laugh without wondering whether someone recorded the moment. You can wear the dress without turning the evening into a photo shoot. You can fall in love without inviting strangers into the relationship. You can heal without publishing a public statement explaining what broke you. And you can become someone new without giving the internet a front row seat to the transformation. Psychologists sometimes describe people who share less online as having a stronger privacy orientation. This does not necessarily mean they are secretive or afraid. It can mean they have become more selective about who receives access to their inner world. That distinction matters. Secrecy is often rooted in shame. Privacy can be rooted in self-respect. When you are private, you are not always saying, "I have something to hide." Sometimes you are saying, "I have something worth protecting." For black women, that protection can feel especially important because visibility has never been emotionally neutral. Black women can be highly visible and still deeply misunderstood. Their appearance may be analyzed, their tone questioned, their confidence labeled as arrogance, and their vulnerability treated as weakness or entertainment. Scholar Moya Bailey gave language to part of this experience through the term Misogynoir, describing the specific form of hostility created where racism and misogyny meet in the lives of black women. Online, that hostility can arrive through obvious attacks, but it can also appear in subtler forms. It can be the stranger making comments about your hair, the coworker silently studying your vacation pictures, the relative counting what you bought, the person who never celebrates you but watches every story, the account that copies your style without acknowledging where the inspiration came from, the audience that consumes your beauty, your humor, your ideas, and even your pain without offering care in return. After a while, posting can begin to feel less like sharing and more like placing pieces of yourself in a public marketplace. Your joy becomes content. Your face becomes content. Your relationship becomes content. Your grief becomes content. Even your healing becomes something people believe they are entitled to observe. so you begin to pull back. Not because you hate people, not because you are bitter, not because you have stopped living. You pull back because your mental sanctuary has become sacred. You realize that every person who can see you does not deserve to know you. Every follower is not a friend. Every compliment is not admiration. Every question is not concern. And every open door does not lead to connection. Some doors lead directly to comparison, projection, gossip, envy, and emotional intrusion. So you close a few of them, you keep the photograph, you preserve the memory, you allow the moment to belong only to you. That is not fear. That is a boundary. And boundaries often become stronger when a woman no longer depends on outside approval to tell her what her life means. There was once a time when posting may have felt exciting. You uploaded a picture and waited for the reactions. Each like gave you a brief spark. Each comment felt like confirmation that you were beautiful, successful, desirable, or doing life correctly. There is nothing shameful about that. Human beings are social creatures. We naturally want to be acknowledged, but eventually, some women notice something uncomfortable. The validation does not last. A post can receive hundreds of likes, and by the next morning, you may still wake up questioning yourself. You can be praised by strangers and still feel emotionally unseen. You can have thousands of followers and no one you trust enough to call when your heart is breaking. You can build an image that looks powerful while privately feeling exhausted by the responsibility of maintaining it. That is when the internal shift begins. You stop asking, "Will people like this?" You start asking, "Why do they need to see it?" You stop wondering whether your life looks impressive. You begin wondering whether your life feels peaceful. This shift reflects something psychologists call an internal locus of evaluation. Instead of depending entirely on outside reactions, you begin using your own values to decide what is meaningful. You know the trip was beautiful because you were there. You know your relationship is loving because of how you are treated when no one is watching. You know you are growing because you can feel the difference in your choices. You know you look good because you looked in the mirror and believed yourself. No algorithm can improve that truth, and no lack of likes can take it away. For Black women, this internal validation can also be a release from the exhausting pressure to perform strength. The strong Black woman expectation has taught generations of women that they must appear resilient at all times. You are expected to work through pain, carry other people, solve the crisis, remain composed, and somehow still present yourself as polished and grateful. Even online, the performance can continue. Post the promotion, post the flawless birthday pictures, post the luxury vacation, post the inspirational message after heartbreak. Show everyone that you survived. Show everyone that you are winning. Show everyone that nothing can break you. But what happens when you no longer want your life to be a permanent testimony of endurance? What happens when you do not want to turn every difficult season into a motivational speech? Sometimes, not posting is how a Black woman removes herself from the stage. She does not announce the achievement. She does not explain the breakup. She does not display the expensive purchase. She does not publish the tears. She allows herself to experience life without immediately converting it into evidence. She is no longer trying to prove that she is strong. She is learning that she is allowed to simply be human. And perhaps that is the deeper reason so many Black women are becoming quieter online. They are not disappearing from life. They are disappearing from the performance of it. They are choosing the experience over the evidence. And that choice becomes even more powerful when you understand what social media quietly asks of us. It asks you to compare your ordinary Tuesday to someone else's carefully edited highlight reel. It asks you to turn your home, your face, your body, your relationships, and your accomplishments into measurable objects. How many people liked it? How many people shared it? How many people watched but said nothing? Who supported you? Who ignored you? Who posted something similar 3 days later? Even when you believe you are simply scrolling, your nervous system may be collecting thousands of tiny social signals. You notice who appears younger, richer, happier, thinner, more desired, more successful, or more celebrated. Psychologists call this social comparison. Human beings naturally evaluate themselves by looking at other people. But digital platforms intensify that instinct because comparison no longer happens occasionally. It can happen every few seconds. You open the app feeling fine. 10 minutes later, you are questioning your body, your career, your home, your relationship, and the pace of your entire life. Nothing in your real life has changed, but your perception of it has. For Black women, this comparison can carry an additional burden because the standards being promoted are not always neutral. Beauty algorithms, trends, and online aesthetics may reward features associated with Black women while failing to respect the Black women who naturally possess them. Full lips become fashionable, curves become fashionable, braids become fashionable, melanin becomes an aesthetic. But the Black woman herself may still be criticized for being too loud, too dark, too confident, too natural, too intimidating, or simply too much. That contradiction is exhausting. Your image can be consumed while your humanity is overlooked. Your culture can be celebrated while your boundaries are ignored. Your features can become trends while you are still expected to defend them in professional spaces, family spaces, dating spaces, and public spaces. Eventually, some women decide they no longer want to compete inside a system that keeps changing the rules. They stop trying to create the perfect feed. They stop taking 50 photographs to find the one that looks effortless. They stop arranging their life around what will appear attractive to strangers. They begin choosing what many women in our community now call the soft life. But the soft life is often misunderstood. It is not laziness. It is not irresponsibility. It is not avoiding every difficult conversation or expecting life to become permanently comfortable. The soft life is the decision to stop treating suffering as proof of character. It is the refusal to believe that exhaustion makes you more valuable. It is allowing joy to exist without earning it through pain first. And sometimes, the soft life begins with something as simple as putting the phone down. You go to dinner and taste the food before photographing it. You watch the sunset with your eyes instead of through a screen. You celebrate good news privately before announcing it publicly. You allow your birthday to be a day, not a production. You wear the outfit because it makes you feel beautiful, not because it might perform well online. You become present enough to notice that the moment feels different when no invisible audience is standing in the room with you. There is less pressure, less self-monitoring, less wondering how you appear. You are not looking at yourself from the outside. You are living from the inside. That is a profound psychological shift. When you constantly imagine how your life will look to other people, you can slowly become separated from your own experience. Instead of asking, "Am I enjoying this?" you ask, "Does this look enjoyable?" Instead of asking, "Do I feel loved?" you ask, "Does this relationship look loving?" Instead of asking, "Am I proud of myself?" you ask, "Will other people be impressed?" But a life can photograph beautifully and still feel emotionally empty. A woman can look confident online while crying after she closes the app. A couple can post anniversary tributes while barely speaking at home. A person can share inspirational quotes every morning while privately feeling lost. Social media is not always dishonest, but it is incomplete, and emotionally mature women begin to understand that incomplete images should not be given complete authority over how they see themselves, so they step away. Sometimes gradually. First, they stop posting every day. Then, they stop explaining where they have been. Then, they realize that entire weeks have passed without needing strangers to witness their lives. At first, the silence may feel uncomfortable. You may wonder whether people will forget you. You may notice that some relationships disappear when you stop providing constant updates. You may learn that certain people were connected to your content, not to you. They knew what you wore, where you traveled, and what you celebrated, but they never asked how your spirit was doing. That realization can hurt, but it can also clarify everything, because when the performance stops, real connection becomes easier to recognize. The friend who calls without needing a post to remind her that you exist. The sister who celebrates your private victories. The partner who protects moments instead of broadcasting them. The family member who respects that silence does not always mean something is wrong. These are the people who understand that intimacy is not built through unlimited access. It is built through trust, and trust requires boundaries. Your quiet era may disappoint people who were accustomed to observing you. Some may call you distant. Some may say you have changed. Some may assume you think you are better than everyone. But sometimes, you have changed simply means, I no longer receive the same access to you. And perhaps they are right. You have changed. You are no longer available for constant interpretation. You are no longer posting happiness to make other people believe you are okay. You are no longer sharing pain to prove that your struggles are valid. You are no longer using visibility as evidence of existence. You understand something now that may have taken years to learn. Being seen is not the same as being known. Attention is not the same as love. Followers are not the same as community. And exposure is not the same as freedom. Real freedom may look quieter than you expected. It may look like a camera roll filled with beautiful memories no stranger will ever see. It may look like a relationship that grows privately. It may look like healing that happens without an announcement. It may look like wearing your best clothes on an ordinary day and taking no pictures at all. It may look like becoming deeply proud of a life that no longer needs to prove itself. So the next time someone asks why you have been so quiet online, you do not have to defend yourself. You can simply smile. You are not invisible. You are present somewhere else. You are present in your body, in your home, in your laughter, in conversations that are not being recorded, in relationships that do not require an audience, in the sacred space between who you were expected to be and who you are finally allowing yourself to become. You do not need to be seen by everyone to exist fully. You do not need public approval to make your private joy real. You do not owe the internet your beauty, your milestones, your grief, your softness, or your becoming. Some things grow better when they are not constantly exposed. Some happiness becomes stronger when it is protected. Some versions of you deserve time to develop before the world is invited to comment. And some memories are precious precisely because they belong only to you. Sis, you are not disappearing. You are returning to yourself. You are learning that privacy can be peaceful, silence can be powerful, and a boundary can be one of the deepest forms of self-love. You are not missing life because you did not post it. You may finally be living it. If you are in your quiet era right now, choosing peace over performance and presence over constant visibility, share your experience in the comments. Your story may remind another woman that she is not alone. And subscribe to the channel as we continue uncovering the psychology behind the experiences Black women are often expected to carry in silence. You are whole, you are safe, you are worthy of being understood, and you are allowed to keep the most beautiful parts of your life sacred.